know, this was essentially a discipline set up by men thousands of years ago, and it was brought into the home, but women definitely were not in the forethought there. And now, interestingly, the females, and what I said yesterday about women's intuition, etc., we're much more open to the holistic side of things and to the other practices. So well done, women. Woohoo. 43% of those are over 50, which is quite a big number as well, but possibly that's reflected by the fact we've possibly got more time for ourselves by that age in life. But actually, sadly, it's the younger ones that need to be doing it, really. Anyway, happy day. So we're starting with our root chakra this morning in Tadasana. Tadasana, mountain pose. So mountain pose is very connected to the earth, obviously, and we're thinking of the mountain pose comes from a rooted mountain, and the mountain is always growing, which is a physical fact, actually. So we're thinking of rooting our feet and growing from there. So the grounding of the root balance comes through the feet here, and as you press into your feet, just find your feet. You're that little triangle point, your heel, the base of your big toe, and the base of your little toe. If you press into there and lift your instep a little bit, you'll feel that connection move up your leg and into this root chakra area. It's the bottom three vertebrae, your perineum area, your pelvic floor. It's that area that we're looking at. It's been our root chakra, our Muladhara. So there'll be a lot of grounding and support words used this morning, but also this is the area where the red lotus flower is spinning, the symbol internally of our red lotus flower spinning. So you might feel red comes into it a little bit. You might want to focus on red at some points. So we're going to work in three different sort of sequences here, using our feet and our knees. We don't actually go down onto our root. We don't sit down, but we're very much involved in it. So we're thinking of working through this area. And we know when we're doing standing balances that if this area isn't solid and stable, then everything else goes a bit wobbly. And it's the same thing in life. This root chakra works with our stability and security. And if it's not strong and stable, then we will feel as if we don't belong, and we'll have difficulties with relationships. We may not stay still. We may not be able to find our home, our feeling, a sense of home. So that's what it's all about, the root chakra. Okay, we're going to just start moving today, but we want to move on the breath. So I'm not doing a breath practice here to start. We're just going to start moving, but find your breath first of all. Find that slowing down the pace of the breath, taking a little bit of control of the breath, beginning to work it in a calm rhythm. So we want that long inhale through your nostrils, long exhale through your nostrils. When I say long, it's kind of your count of 4, but the point here is to work it with the movements and make the movements slow down because of it. Okay, so coming to the front of the long end of the mat, the short end rather of that, we're going to just start with a few roll downs and roll ups here, and then move down to our knees. So have your bricks handy in case you want them in a second. You might want them. So front of the mat now, short end of the mat, into Tadasana. Close the eyes. Feel that rooting sensation through your feet. Imagine long tendrils going down through your feet and rooting you to the ground. And then grow up from there through up to your crown. So find all those little posture points balancing one on top of each other. As your hips become involved in your lower half, your abdominal muscles become involved. Then up through your heart area, lifts up out of your pelvis, and then through your chin to lengthen the back of the neck and up through the crown. So we've just elongated the spine, which has opened up all of the areas that we speak about the chakras being in. So the connection's there from your root chakra now to your crown. Okay, so finding that breath, just pop your hands to your thighs, inhale, and as you exhale, slowly start to roll down, tucking the tummy, tucking the chin, softening the knees. Not going down too far, just to the end of that breath of exhale. And then inhale, push through the feet, find that connection through the earth, lifting you up And roll the shoulders up at the top if you can. So we're on the exhale as we're rolling down. Feel the weight move into the feet, through the hips and the legs. Feel that grounding sensation, then inhale to roll back up. I might be going a little bit fast for you, so take your own timing. At the top, roll the shoulders out. Feel that connection between the root chakra and your crown now. Take one more, roll down. And when you're down there this time, pop the hands to the floor, knees still soft. Take the right foot back and come back into low lunge. Your version of low lunge, you can have your knee under your, dead fly, under your hips, or you can have your knee further back. Now you can bring your bricks in if you want to put them under your hands. All they are is a connection to the earth. So if you feel you're rounding and straining to reach the floor, bring your bricks in so that it just extends your arms or extends the height of the ground so that you then feel connected. Keep the hands there. And all we're going to do here is use the breath. We're going to inhale and reach out through the crown and through the root chakra. And then exhale, tuck the tummy and lift up through the perineal area. So lift up your hips slightly. Inhale, lengthen, roll out. Feel that length between the root and the crown. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, that area, lift up through, press gently through both feet and knees. And take a couple more. So really sense that grounding sensation through the front foot this time. Really push through it as you lift up, and you're kind of coming up into a kind of cat shape is the idea. That's not the heart we're thinking about here. We're thinking about the hips moving slightly forward and backwards and lowering and lifting. And then take the left knee back and come into all fours. Find your alignment here. Make sure wrists, elbows, shoulders are in line. Ground through the hands as well as the knees and feet. Make sure there's that connection to the earth below you. Feel that support. Draw the tummy in then to support that lower area of the root chakras. And then we're just going to take a right foot back on the floor, toe along the floor. Find that hip hinge at the very base of your torso, at that area of your root chakra area. Spreads out from the center to there. Find that hip hinge between thigh and hip. Roll onto the ball of your foot, still foot on the floor. Stretch through that sole. Push the heel away from you, in other words. Feel that connection up through to your right hip and inwards towards your spine. And then when you're ready with that hip hinge, inhale and lift that foot up. Doesn't matter how high it goes, just lift it up to wherever you're comfortable. If you can get it up in line with your crown, with your heel, then do so. If not, try and reach your crown forward so that you feel there's a real connection between your heel and crown, everyone. And then press through your heel, lift the foot and press it away from you slightly. Feel that connection through to that right hip. And then from that right hip area, from your root chakra, move up through the spine and lift out through your crown. And breathe. And then release gently through from the crown, release down through to your root chakra and soften the knee, bring it back to the floor. Rock back and then bring your left foot forward into low lunge. Bring your bricks in again if you need them, same thing. So change the breath this time. Think of lifting on the inhale and softening on the exhale. So lifting through the front foot and rolling out the spine on the inhale. On the exhale, softening through the back hip flexor in effect. So letting your bottom lower slightly, become heavier. Inhaling, lift. So take your focus now to your hips and to that area at the bottom of your body. And think about letting it lift and soften with the breath here. So it's kind of, if you were going to start a race, I think you would lift to prepare yourself for the race. And then you would soften just to get into the situation before the race. So think of lifting the hips, so that area through the perineal area, and softening it with the breath. And then take the left knee back again. Did I do the same foot twice there? I might have done, so apologies if I did. Yes, I did. Okay, we might have to do it again. Okay, this time we're taking the right left foot back, stretching it out behind us on the big toe to start with. Make sure your hips haven't rolled with that, so try and keep both hips parallel to the floor so that that root chakra area would be facing the floor. Engage that crown to heel feeling. Roll up onto the ball of the foot first of all. Engage that feeling. Lift up through the hands. Use them to ground you as well. And then when you're ready, breathe in and lift the back leg, the long leg. And hold and breathe. As you breathe in, press gently through the heel and through the crown. Lift out, open up. As you exhale, soften slightly. So from that area in your root, open up in the inhale. Inhale, draw it back together. Imagine you're making that lotus flower spin. So as you open up, it spins a little bit. As you soften, it softens too and slows down. So we're just getting a rhythm in a breath and using it to work with the rhythm of the body. And then lower that knee if you haven't already. We're going to rock back and bring the right foot forward if we haven't already, because I can't remember and I don't think we did. So we're going to do this side just once. So find your runner's lunge one more time. Inhale, lengthen from that back knee to the crown maybe this time. Moving through that area of the chakra, softening on the exhale. So again, think of that spinning disc. Might not be able to visually, but just try and visualize that disc spinning. Or maybe you'd like to just think of the color red as you move in and out of this with the breath. Not much movement, but we're pressing gently into the front foot to find that connection, into the back knee to find that connection. Softening and tipping the hips slightly on the exhale. Where you can really feel it is in your hip flexor, but actually it moves right across your abdominal area when you take this movement. And then take the right foot back. Sink back for a moment into child's pose. Move your root chakra backwards towards your heels. Feel that slightly open sensation now. Come down onto your elbows. Fold your arms if your head can't quite reach the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. Really thinking of moving that root area backwards towards your heels. So keeping that back and low. So you might find your head then does come up. If it does, it doesn't matter. Pop something under it. This child's pose is much more about getting your hips back than getting your head down. You can feel a spreading sensation across where we speak about Muladhara. It's a bandha, Muladhara bandha, which is linked to this. We'll go into that another day. Okay, so then we're going to come up and I'm going to walk your feet forward, lift your knees obviously, walk the feet forward and come into garland pose. So you might want your bricks. We're only here for a couple of breaths, but if you do want your bricks, you can pop them under your heels if it helps with your stability. So with that, obviously, you just pop the brick under each foot at the back and you find yourself much more stable. So this is very opening in that area at the lower half of our body. So what we want to think about here today is about tucking the tummy and rolling the hips slightly under us and forward. Move your undercarriage forward is my phrase. So that way you'll feel a slightly opening sensation in that lower area. Don't worry too much about the upper body at the moment. We're thinking just about that lower body. Find your feet again and really press into your feet. Find that connection through the feet, moving up through the legs. And breathe. So some people are too open in these energetic areas, some people are too closed, some people it stagnates, some people it moves too quickly. There is an imbalance then, and it affects our life as well as our health. So then pop the hands to the floor, press gently into your feet, raise your bottom up, come up in and walk your feet then back towards each other so you come into a soft forward fold again. And then we're going to roll up from here gently. So trace the foot, hands up the legs as you roll back up. Take your time, open your eyes, look along the floor, look up the wall, take your time to open up the front of the body again. Roll the shoulders back, open up the chest, find your feet again, press gently into the balls of the toes and the heel, lift up through the root chakra, move up through all 7 chakras till you find that powerful light busting out of your crown feeling. And then release. Take a couple of breaths, and now we're going to move into golden seed that we've done last week a bit again. So you might want your bricks here, or a brick at least, for elephant trunk swing. What I didn't say, I noticed last week doing elephant trunk, is that what you want to find when you fold forward from here is that sensation of a long body. So wherever the brick is, it shouldn't be here, it should be under your face roughly in the middle. So you want to keep that sensational length. You can't soften knees, so remember. Okay, so golden seed, energetic flow this one is about, but it's a much softer one than some of the yoga flows. It's not a vinyasa flow in that it's not really dynamic and powerful. We want to move freely in this pose, in this sequence rather. So we're not going to do lots of cues this morning. I'm just going to try and move through it. And what we'll do is we'll gather the energy, then we'll turn our feet and we'll go straight into goddess, moving the energy outwards. We'll then turn the feet forward again and we'll fold forward and we'll come down and do elephant trunk. And then we'll scoop the energy up, we'll bring it back up. And then we'll do our bird, which is either swing the ball or take the hands up behind you. Then we gather the energy and come back up to the top, and we'll do 2 sides. So have your brick ready, kind of where you think it'll need to be. When you're ready, on the breath, inhale, gather that energy around you, lift it up, touch your fingertips together, hold it in a little ball, turn the hands, share your energy now by taking your palms downwards and moving the energy outwards. We're going to step out to the right and turn our feet out, ready, and come down into goddess. Take the hands out, then hands flex and push the energy out again towards everyone else. Sharing that energy, hold and breathe. Roll that undercarriage forward again. Feel that Muladhara area moving forward, opening. Feel the strength in there, feel the stability in there. Feel how you belong here on your yoga mat. And then breathing in, press gently into the feet, turn them forwards, prepare to fold forwards. Inhale, exhale, fold forward at the hinge. Find your brick under your face with your right hand. Inhale, lengthen, open, twist up, open up your elephant trunk. Exhale, slowly move down, bringing the left hand under your face. Inhale, right hand comes up, let the left knee soften if you need to go into the twist, let everything flow, remember in this one, not about the feet staying still, take 1 more each side, inhaling up, exhaling, closed, open and close, feel that area in your lower abdominal area moving with you, feel that openness across the back of your hips. Have I done an extra one? Possibly. And then come to a standstill. Bring your hands under and gather up that energy ball. Imagine a big red ball you're lifting today. Lift it up, take it up, give it out to the energy of the universe and let your hands come down to your side. We're going to take the hands up again and we're going to go into bird here now. So either bowling ball, taking the energy ball down through, or take your hands behind you. Roll through the knees as you exhale. Take the hands through and up if you're doing so. Roll through again. So take a couple of these and think about that grounding sensation through your feet. Really feel the strength in your legs, the stability in your hips, which is allowing your upper body to flow. Next time you come down, we're going to gather that energy ball up again, that big red ball this morning. Take it up, turn the wrists, open out, give it back what you've been given, and release the hands down to the side. Gather some more energy if you can and draw it back round and pop it down into your root chakra. Step the right foot in, come back to the start. Okay, so we'll take that one again, probably not with so many repetitions this morning, down this side. So we'll be stepping the left foot out this time. When you're ready, inhale, exhale a couple of times here, just find the breath again. Allow that energy to come into you, to flow in from outside, and the energy to release from you, be given back. When you're ready, inhale, take the energy up and around you, gather it up above you, turn the hands, release some energy back. Going to step out into Goddess with the left foot, step out, take the hands out as you squat down, turn the feet out, take the hands out, move the energy away from you through your shoulders. Take your attention back to your feet and to your lower area of your root chakra. Imagine a red strength there, the strength of a real deep red colour, holding us here, keeping us strong, keeping us stable. Maybe you can even close your eyes. It's that strong and stable, that area. And then we're coming back up, gently press up in the feet. We're going to come into bird now, so we're gently folding on the next inhale forward. Your feet have turned forward, by the way, and we come down and find the brick or the floor under your left hand this time. Long front body. Inhale, rotate with the right hand. Let everything flow with it. You've got the stability of the lower half, but it doesn't mean it can't be flexible at the same time to allow you to move. So you can roll a little bit through your feet. Take one more either side. You can roll through your feet. You can soften your knees. As one knee flexes, the other one probably comes a little bit stronger to hold. So allow that confidence in that stability to be there. And then we're going to gather the energy up. We're going to take that big red ball of energy up again, take it up above us. Raise it up above us as much out into the universe as you can, and then let the hands come down. We're going into bird here now, so inhale the arms up. Take that energy ball, if you're doing the bowling ball, much easier to visualize. And then roll through and take the hands up behind you if you're doing the other option. Take a couple of roll throughs, really feeling that connection from feet to hips here. And then moving through to that center point between your hips. So the energy flowing up through your legs and down through to your legs to move from that lower area. And then next breath, take a hold at the bottom of your energy ball, raise it up, glowing red ball of magic. Take it up, give it to the universe, open up the hands, bring them down by your sides, and maybe down back to your tummy with some extra energy for you. Step your left foot back in. And breathe. So with some people, all this talk of energy balls and flowers spinning, etc., is a little bit too out there for them. Perhaps initially that's what scares people off of yoga. But it's not a religion. We're not saying you must believe these things. Slowly you will come to see what it means, because we all know now the energy we feel inside ourselves. And on a magical day like this, And it's nothing to do with religion again, but it's the middle of the summer. It's a sunny day. We're all living happily in, oops, and I've got a deer walking through my garden just to prove how beautiful it is. So, the magic is there and the energy is all around us. There's no question of that. Okay, so once you've got your breath back, we're going to go into another little sequence here now at the beginning of our mat, at the front short end of our mat, and we're going to use some standing balances now. So it is on our feet, but the connection here again, as I say, is to this root chakra. That's where your legs move into. Okay, so find your feet, find Tadasana. So we're going to begin with an inhale, gathering energy up and taking it up above us, tipping the fingers together, drawing that undercarriage under us, and softening and letting the arms come down in the exhale. Take one more, inhaling up. Really feel that energy move through from your feet up to your crown. Feel that connection. Don't need to necessarily think of lotus flowers to feel it. Okay, so the next one, we're going to come into tree. So inhale, take the left leg, stand on the left leg, sorry, I'm going in the left leg first. With eyes open or closed, find that balance through your standing foot and moving up through to your standing hip and moving right across to the center of you. So draw that hip back over towards center. And then we're taking our right leg and we're moving it up, or we're keeping it on the floor, but we're taking the knee out the way. So we're squeezing that right hip and moving that right knee out the way and then lifting the foot up to wherever you want it in tree this morning. It can stay on the floor if you're a bit wobbly. I've got my eyes closed just as a test here to see how wobbly I am this morning. What you really have to think about here is rooting through your left foot and squeezing that left hip towards center, towards that center point of your root chakra, towards that red ball in there. Move the energy over that way so that you've got that stability here. And then if you're comfortable with that, take your arms up above your head, tip the fingers together at the top rather than Anjali Mudra, just into Hakini Mudra here it is in fact. Take the elbows back slightly out your peripheral vision. You may have your eyes open now, but find a focal point that will help with this stability. So we need more than just one thing to keep us stable in life. It's not all about just the root chakra. We need to find what works together with it. So certain relationships make you feel unstable. Certain places don't feel like home. You need to work with your inner intuition and your heart and various other parts of your energy centers to work out how to make that root chakra feel stable and strong. So here we need to think about maybe pressing your fingertips together will actually help you balance a little bit more. But actually freeing your toes will help because they don't need to be involved. Maybe pulling your tummy in gently, maybe drawing your shoulders back, and then visually finding that focal point, and then finding your breath. So inhale, lift, exhale, soften, find that rhythmic balance. And then let the hands come down, bring them to heart center, take the right foot back and come into high lunge. So high lunge on a train track, remember, and then the ball of the back foot, both feet facing forward. Tuck the tummy and roll that lower part of you forward, your undercarriage, your root chakra. Find it stable between both legs. So press gently into the back heel to really switch that leg on. Soften the front knee, but then lift the toes, have a little wiggle, and then find the triangular point there. Just gently press into it without straightening the knee. And then inhaling, take the hands up above the head, into a little mini back bend if you want, looking up towards that top corner, taking the elbows out of your vision, hold and breathe. You might just be extended here, that's fine. But go back to your root, feel the little wobbles, that's fine. Nothing's going to, you have to move to find stability. You can't just stay still, because otherwise you'll become so stiff physically and mentally that you will become unhappy. So it's all about letting little movements to find that inner balance. And then allow the hands to come back down, soften. I'm going to push gently into that front leg. Turn the back heel slightly and lower it to the floor. And then we're going to come into triangle. I've got my back to you, sorry. So we're going to rotate our bodies to face towards the wall or the long end of the mat. And then we're just going to gently move the right hip slightly to the right. So your back leg, the hip goes backwards slightly, which you'll feel in your inner thigh and into your groin of your left leg. This is a different way to go into triangle this morning. You can keep your hands on your waist if you want. Don't worry too much about the back hand. We're going to find that hip hinge here and we're going to move over gently over that hip hinge. Take the left hand then and place it either might be in your thigh, not on your knee, or you might can actually reach down further and find your shin. You might actually can come down and reach down towards the floor in the inside of your leg. But then look at the top shoulder. Feel how unstable you feel at the moment because there's a weight moving forward here, not on top of your legs. So you need to roll that top shoulder back, open up your body, and try and put everything in alignment. If I was looking at you from above, I would try and move everything into alignment, forward and back, until it's all stacked. Excuse me. So up top arm can be down, it doesn't need to be up this morning. And breathe. Nice stability there in the legs. Both working together and moving up in that triangular shape to that point in the middle of you at your root chakra. So to come up from this, just gently soften that front knee and then push through the front foot. Engage the upper side body, lift up and come back up to the top. Turn that back foot forward. We're going to step forward here, but not into tree. We're going to step forward and coming into standing pigeon. So you might not can do that in one movement. Otherwise, you're going to step forward again on your left foot onto the balance point. Bring your right foot up off the floor. Engage that left hip, moving it towards the center point, that root center. And then soften the left standing leg gently at the knee. Rotate the hip again of the right foot like we did in tree. This time catch a hold of your foot and we're going to bring it down into standing pigeon. So flexed foot to stop the knee torquing. You might find you've moved your weight now into your toes of your left foot a little bit more. Try and lift your toes and move the weight back slightly. Engage the tummy muscles and see if you can tuck that pelvic tilt slightly. Hands can be wherever you feel stabilizes you. It might be at heart center with them together because that balance is right and left. It might be you're better with them on your thighs or on your waist even. If you're feeling really flashy, see if you can take your hands up above your head, palms facing each other, as if you're holding that red ball of energy again. Draw them up above you. Engage, the energy between the palms is still there, so as if you can't quite push them together. And breathe. And then release the hands down if they're up above you. Gently move out of that and come back to Tadasana. So a lot of balance there. My balance actually was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, but it might be my other leg. Sometimes where our imbalance isn't just complete, it might just be one side of you. And I'm not sure, but I would guess that relates sometimes to your right and left side of your brain and how you're working. So all this, everything works together essentially. Right, let's take the other side in that. So we're moving into tree with the right leg as our standing leg. If you're coming with me, you might have done the opposite side. And then we're lifting the left leg. Move that right hip over towards the root chakra. Draw it into center. Squeeze the left hip so that your inner thigh opens on that side and your knee moves back. Might want to use your hand just to help that move round. And then either find your leg, your foot on your leg, wherever you want it, but not against your knee, or tipped on the floor just for a bit of extra balance if you need to. Wherever you are, give it a go at just closing your eyes gently. See if you can do it this morning. Have a little wiggle of your toes. See if that makes you a little bit wobblier. I find I often am now, without thinking about it, putting my hands into Hakini Mudra, which is where all your fingertips touch each other and you do that sort of diamond shape. So try that one in front of you instead of Anjali Mudra. See if that helps you to focus on that. Maybe that helps your right-left brain to balance, which then moves down into helping and supporting your legs. So the support doesn't always come from where you think it's going to be from. Here, you would think of the floor and your foot, but it's not necessarily that's the support here. There's also other things supporting. And it's the same in life. Support's not always from where you expect it. So release the hands, release the foot. We're going to step back and come into high lunge now on this side. So onto the ball of the left foot at the back. Find that connection to both your back heel. So press it gently away from you. Switch that leg on. Find the front foot. Have a wiggle at the toes, but gently press through that little triangle. Knee is soft. Tuck the tummy and try and roll your hips forward slightly. So it feels like your perineum is directly above the floor rather than pointing backwards. And then hands to heart center. Find your breath as we breathe in, lift up. Come up into either extended or a little back bend if you feel like it, rolling the heart forward, taking the shoulders back, finding a focal point, breathing, find the breath. The breath is always there to support you. Feeling all the little wobbles. When you think too much about them, you wobble even more. So take your attention back to your breath, the stability of the breath, the support of the breath. And then we're going to straighten that front leg, rotate that back hip, and come forward into triangle. So you need to rotate your body. You need to take that back hip back a little bit, so that feels like your legs extended slightly. So in fact, you're pushing through that front foot and moving that back hip backwards. Try and keep your body nice and tucked so that you feel stacked. And then gently folding at this hip hinge here, moving over like I'm a little teapot. Do you remember that one last week? So this time, try and keep that long side here. Although you've engaged this side of your body, try and keep it a little bit longer. Hands on thighs then, or maybe you can move down to your shin. Or maybe you can move down to your hand being just inside your ankle there. But then watch what's happened with the top shoulder. So if you've gone too far and you can't open up, let the hand trail back up with you. And once you're stuck, then see where you can go to. It probably won't be so far. It won't feel so good egotistically, but it is the right way to go into alignment for the pose. Top hand doesn't matter today. Just engage with the feet, tuck that tailbone, roll the shoulders open, find the breath. Feel the stability through your feet. Maybe you can close your eyes or half close them and really attach yourself to that earthing feeling beneath your feet or through your feet. We can't go anywhere. We're stuck here with our feet grounded. Unless you can fly. Okay, so then we're going to soften that front knee. We're going to raise back up. Going to rotate, and this is where we're coming forward into standing pigeon. So moving into your right leg as the standing leg, squeezing that glute in towards the center point, softening that front knee, the standing knee, sorry, flexing the left foot, squeezing the left hip so that you can rotate, and bringing that soft tissue connection between your right leg and your left thigh. So again, decide what can support you here as you wobble about. Check it's not your toes, because they shouldn't really be doing it. Notice whether I can notice this ankle's not feeling as stable. So what can I do to support it? Well, I feel I'm rolling out, so I'm pushing my foot down slightly on the big toe. I'm moving my weight slightly over more towards center, because that's what's happening. I'm moving out. I'm squeezing that right glute. So think what you can do to support your stability here, to support that root chakra that wants to balance you. It's a survival thing that's in there. Yeah, that is what it's about physically. It's a survival instinct. So you have to switch on that. You need to know how to keep yourself safe. And that's what happens when people are out of kilter with that energy. They don't know how to use boundaries. They don't know how to keep themselves safe, essentially. So then we're going to release from this gently by pushing through the standing leg, coming back up, dropping the other leg down, coming back into Tadasana and breathing. And then we're going to take a roll down again and come down to the floor now to cool down. So trace your hands down your legs. Let that weight fall down through them, into your feet, through to the ground. Come down carefully onto your knees. Come down into Dandasana. So we are actually now sitting down on our area of the root chakra. We're sitting at the base of our torso. Remember what we said yesterday, try and find that center point there so that you feel nice and stable. Switch your feet on, draw your toes back towards you, which will switch your legs on and switch on this whole area. Think of your pelvic floor now, draw everything towards that area. And release. So on the in-breath, draw in towards that center point where your root chakra is seated. And then exhale, soften. So inhale, lift. Not necessarily drawing it up, just drawing it together like a handle on a string bag. And then exhale, soften. So drawing everything in on the inhale, you might feel yourself raise up a little bit, but it's not just switching on your glutes, it's internally we need to be squeezing as well here. Some of us might not feel quite so stable there nowadays, haven't had children, etc., but there's still that ability to find that connection there. And the more we do it, the more the muscles here will learn, because that's what it is, big muscles in there. And then the energy will flow better in that area. So this is kind of also working your sacral chakra, which is very much linked to our reproductive system and all that bladder connection, etc. down there. Okay, so let go of the pelvic floor if you did manage to find it, hopefully. Bring the feet in so that you've got your knees bent. I'm going to take seated Apanasana. So I find my feet are better hip distance apart here. You might find you want to put your feet together, but wherever you are, find your feet nice and connected to your hips and your sit bones. Draw up through the sit bones and then tuck the tummy, tuck the chin, and just allow yourself to roll forward slowly. I'm holding my shins as I do it. You might find more comfortable holding your legs, and roll forward, letting the body fold on towards the thighs, letting the head just hang. So big opening on the back of the body, this one, big opening on the back of the neck. Tuck the tummy to support the lower back. And then squeeze that pelvic floor area again 1 or 2 times on the breath. See how that works here. And then release the pelvic floor. And just take 2 or 3 breaths into the back of your body, particularly into your lower back. And then it might be quite difficult, but see if you can take 2 or 3 breaths then down through into your belly. Feeling it moving against your thighs as you inhale and it swells and exhale and it softens. See how far you can reach with your breath on the next 3 breaths. See if you can take them right down through till you find that perineal pelvic floor contact. Begin to feel that sense of connection, of comfort, that sense of maybe belonging is too strong a word, but of ease. That's what we feel, that peace. When this root chakra works properly, we feel comfortable where we are. So then connect your tummy muscles again as you draw back up. Just to finish for a second, if you've still got time, hopefully, come down onto your back and take Supta Baddha Konasana today. So bring the feet together. Remember, we did this yesterday sitting up. So bring the feet together, let the thighs drop out. Not going to be here very long, so you might want to put your bricks there, but you might not. If your legs feel really uncomfortable, pop your bricks under your thighs. And then bring your hands down onto your lower abdominal area. Press them down gently and then soften them so that they're just sitting on the area around our root and possibly the sacral chakra. And with your breath, take the breath down to that area in the inhale. Feel the swelling and the opening, and then on the exhale, draw it up from there and feel the closing down, the contracting, the softening, the releasing. So when you feel off balance in life, if you don't feel that you're comfortable where you are or who you're with, bring your awareness back to this first chakra. It's a very physical chakra. You will feel things through it. Your Muladhara chakra. It's your foundation. And it's your energy foundation center, off and on the mat. Well, after your next breath, we have to finish, unfortunately. If you want to take a longer time in this position or move into Shavasana, then please do. Otherwise, take your time, roll over onto your side, come back up to finish in Sukhasana. Again, Sukhasana is very much connected with our Muladhara Root Chakra. That's what we're sitting on. That's what we're connected to. It might feel a little bit off kilter again because your legs are crossed. But that's what we're thinking of, is that lowest of the energy centers, the most physical of the energy centers, but the one that keeps us really stable. Okay, so to finish, thank you everybody for your practice this morning. This is definitely where I belong, or one of the places in life, and the connection with other people makes me feel at home, and I hope that's what you get from your yoga practices as well. So take that out with you into the world around you, and that's what you're trying to find in your energetic root chakra center. Thank you everyone, and namaste.